Hello students. So in this particular assignment, you're supposed to actually look at some word problems, okay, or what we also sometimes call level 2 type of questions, where it is questions with some context, and we to interpret it in a way which eventually allow us to use simultaneous equation to solve the problem, right? So let's take a look. So the first question that I ask you to try is this one, question 7. Okay, the question goes like that. 1/5 of the sum of two angles is 24 degrees and half of their difference is 14. Find the angles. So the question asks us to find the angles. Okay, so in order to do that and to apply the technique of the algebra that we have learned, the simultaneous equation, we need to define, always begin by defining the problem, define the unknowns. Okay, so x and y is of course the most popular letters and we use as variables in algebra. So I'm going to begin by saying let the two angles be x degree and y degree. Okay, so the question says 1/5 of the sum. So 1/5 of the sum, translated to algebraic form, it looks like this: 1/5 times x plus y equals to 24. Okay, so simplifying this, multiplying 5 on both sides, we have x plus y equals to 120, and I'm going to call this equation 1. The next piece of information we have is that half their difference, right? So half, and the difference is x minus y, so half the difference equals to 14. Again, multiply by 2 on both sides of the equation, we have x minus y equals to 28, and I'm going to call this equation 2. So now, since the coefficient is 1 and 1 here, 1 and negative 1 here, it's quite easy to just use elimination method, right? So if I were to add up these two, equation 1 and equation 2, we find that the variable y is actually eliminated. So let's go ahead and do that. So equation 1 plus equation 2, so x plus x gives us 2x, y plus negative y, well, y is eliminated. 120 plus 28 gives us 148. So that gives us x equals to 74, right? So don't forget to find y after that. So we're going to substitute x equals to 74 into equation 2. Or you can substitute it into equation 1. It doesn't matter in this case. Both will work, right? So we have equation 1, we have here 74, which is x, minus y equals to 28. That gives us y equals to 46. Now, at this point, we need to remember that we are trying to find the angle, which is what the question wants us to do. The question did not want us to find the value of x, did not want us to find the value of y. Okay, we just translate it on our own to x and y so that we can apply the technique of simultaneous equation. We need to answer the question, right? So final statement, okay, let's write it down. Therefore, the angles are 74 degrees and 46 degrees. Okay, so this is the complete presentation that you should actually minimally have, okay, to answer this type of question. All right, now moving on to the next question. I ask you to try question 12. So the question goes like that: 6 adults and 4 senior citizens have to pay $228, while 13 adults and 7 senior citizens have to pay $459 to visit an exhibition, right? So this one, uh, what do we need to do? Well, they want us to find the total amount 2 adults and a senior citizen have to pay. So before we even go about answering the question, we need to know how much is the cost to actually visit the exhibition. See, so we're going to again start by defining the variables that we're going to use. Okay, in this case, we have the cost for 1 adult and the cost for 1 senior citizen. So write it down, right? Let the cost for 1 adult be X dollars. Let the cost for 1 senior citizen be Y dollars. Actually, you can use any alphabet you want, but of course, X and Y is the most popular one we use when we are dealing with algebra. So nothing wrong with using X and Y over here. Okay, so using the information that we have from the question now, 6 adults and 4 senior citizens. So 6x plus 4y equals to 228. Okay, we're going to call this equation 1. Then the next piece of information we have is 13x plus 7y is 459, equation 2. Okay, so over here, since the question did not specify, it is up to you whether you want to use elimination method or substitution method. Okay, for linear, usually elimination method is a little bit faster. It's not always the case, but in this case, why not? Let's just use elimination method, right? So to get that, what we are trying to do is this. Okay, in this case, we are trying to make the coefficient of y the same. So 4x, if I multiply by 7, I get 28. 7y, if I multiply by 4, I get 28. So that's what I'm going to do. So equation 1 will times 7. So 6x times 7, 42x. 4y times 7, 28y. 228 times 7, 1596. So let's write it down properly. Call this equation 3. And then we are going to take the second equation and multiply by 4 in order to get the same coefficient for y. So 4 times 13x gives us 52x. 4 times 7y, 28y. 4 times 459, 1836. Let's call this equation 4. Now equation 3 and equation 4 both have 28y over there. So if we take one equation minus the other equation, y will be eliminated, right? So we're going to take equation 4 minus equation 3. So 52x minus 42x gives us 10x. Y gets eliminated because 28y minus 28y is 0. And then 1836 minus 1596, we get 240. So that brings us to x equals to 24, right? So x equals to 24 means the cost of one adult is actually $24. So we need to find the cost for one senior citizen, which is y. So we can substitute this x equals to 24 into any one of the earlier equation. So in this case, I can just substitute into equation 1. So 6x, replace the x with 24, plus 4y equals to 228. You work this one out, y equals to 21. That means one senior citizen, the cost is actually $21. So once we obtain that piece of information, we can actually answer the question. The question asks for 2 adults and 1 senior citizen. That means 2 times $24 plus 1 times $21, which gives us $69. And that is the solution to this question. Okay. Okay, finally, question 16 is the next question that we are looking at. Okay, so the question goes like this. Wei Ming deposited a total of $25,000 in Bank A and Bank B at the beginning of 2020. Bank A and Bank B pay simple interest at rates of 0.6% and 0.65% per annum respectively. So he withdrew all his money from the two banks at the end of 2020, which means he leave it inside there for a single year, right? 1 year to collect 1 year of interest. Okay. So if he earned the same amount of interest from each of the bank, find the amount of money he deposited into each bank. Okay, so a few things is going on over here. Okay, we need to first of all, okay, figure out how much money is actually placed into Bank A and Bank B. Right? We don't know. We only know that the combined amount is 25,000. So from there, we can start by saying that the amount of money deposited in Bank A and Bank B, let it be X dollars and Y dollars. So the combined amount, X plus Y, is 25,000. There, we have our first equation, right? So equation 1. Now, the next piece of information that we have is that the interest, okay, is actually the same. So the interest rate for Bank A is 0.6 and Bank B is 0.65. So 0.6 times the amount of money in Bank A, which is X, is equals to 0.65 percent times the value of Y, which is the amount of money in Bank B, right? See, this will give us the same interest. So we have that. Of course, we don't quite like the decimal places, right? So we can simplify it. So from equation 2, we rearrange it a little bit. We have y is equals to 0.6x over 0.65. Let's convert it to fraction, a little bit more manageable than having decimal inside a fraction, right? So 12x over 13. So in this case, do you notice something? Aha, we are actually employing the substitution method because y is the subject. If you want to try to use elimination method in this particular question, you can, just that the numbers can get quite huge. But if you do it properly, you are able to actually obtain the same solution. Okay, so in this case, we have y equals to 12x over 13. So substitute equation 3 into equation 1. We have x plus 12x over 13 is 25,000, right? So combine this into a single fraction. We have 25x over 13 is 25,000. That gives us x equals to 13,000, right? Just times 13 over 25 on both sides. So we have the value of x, which is the amount of money in Bank A. Now we're going to find y, which is the amount of money in Bank B, right? So just substitute it into any one of the earlier equation. You can substitute into 1 in this case. Why not? You can also substitute it into equation 3 since y is the subject. but maybe you don't want to deal with fractions. It doesn't matter, right? You will get the same solution. So substitute into equation 1, y will be 25,000 minus 13,000, 12,000. Therefore, the amount of money deposited in bank A and bank B is 13,000 and 12,000 respectively. Please remember to write the final statement, because once again, let me remind you, the question did not uh, ask us to find the value of x, did not ask us to find the value of y. We define ourselves in order to use the technique of simultaneous equation. But eventually, we need to answer to the question. So tell them how much is the money each of the bank properly. Okay, and that is the questions that I asked you to try. I hope you have done well. If not, learn from your mistakes. It's all right. Let's keep improving and let's keep advancing. Have a nice day.